Did I ever make the right choice?
By the way, Papa, when will the long table be set?
I don't know yet. Alfredo is not very specific, but I understand Esperanza wants it to be next month.
I wonder why he's not decided yet. He's over 30, isn't he? And still a bachelor. Esperanza must be tired of waiting.
She does not seem to be in much of a hurry either.
But how can a woman be in a hurry when the man does not hurry her? Papa, do you remember how in love he was?
In love with whom?
With Esperanza, of course. He has not had another love affair that I know of. What I mean is that at the beginning he was enthusiastic. Flowers, serenades, notes, and things like that. Carmen noticed Alfredo in their house, still drowning in his deep thoughts. What do you think happened, Papa?
I suppose long engaged people are like that. Warm now, cool tomorrow. I think they're often cooler than warm. The very fact that an engagement has been allowed to prolong itself argues certain placidity of temperament or of affection on the part of either or both. That phase you were speaking of is natural enough for a beginning. Besides, the way I see it, it was Alfreda's last race with escaping youth, a last spurt of hot blood.
Alfredo went out and walks to the gate as he looks at the house with emotion and reminisces. A flashback 6 weeks ago on one evening. While Alfredo is busy with paperworks,
May I interrupt you? Come on, son. Let's go visit Judge Del Valle.
But I need to finish this, Papa.
A little mental relaxation now and then is beneficial. Besides, a judge's goodwill, is the worst rising young lawyer's trouble.
Alfredo left his paperwork and both of them went to Judge Del Valle's house. They arrive at Del Valle's residence and a young woman opened the door for them.
Good evening. Is Judge Del Valle home?
Yes, sir, he's home.
By the way, let me introduce myself and my companion. I am Don Julian, and this is my son, Alfredo. We are your neighbors.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. I am Julia. Please hold on for a moment. I shall call Judge Del Valle. Please sit down and make yourselves feel at home.
Thank you, Miss Del Valle.
Julia smiles with a wide grin at how Alfredo had addressed her. A few minutes later, Judge Del Valle comes and so does Julia.
Ah, what a pleasant surprise, Mr. Salazar. Good evening, Mr. Del Valle. I hope we're not interrupting you. No, not at all. By the way, this is my son, Alfredo. So you are the lawyer, I presume.
Indeed, sir.
Would you mind if we play chess as we chat? I feel like playing a little game of logic. Anything you prefer, George? Would you like anything to drink? A bottle of cerveza, maybe. That would be nice, compadre. Adela, can you bring us bottles of cerveza, please?
Few minutes later, Doña Adela brings in the drinks.
This is Doña Adela, my wife, Julia's sister. Hello, Mrs. Del Valle. I'm Don Julian. Pleased to meet you.
They talk for hours and Julia noticed that Alfredo is left being alone. If you don't mind, would you want me to keep you company for a while? I think their chat and game of chess would take them a couple of hours.
If it is not that much of a burden to you, Miss Del Valle.
No, it's fine. Alfredo found out that Julia is not Judge Del Valle's sister, but her sister-in-law rather.
I apologize for calling you Miss Del Valle. If you had told me sooner, I wouldn't have.
No problem. Each time I was about to correct you, I remember a similar experience I had once before.
Oh,
Well, a man named Manalang, I kept calling him Manalo. After that tenth or so, the young man rose from his seat and said suddenly, "Pardon me, but my name is Manalang. Manalang." I never forgave him. And the room was filled with laughter. The best thing to do under circumstances I've found out is to pretend not to hear and to let the other person find out his mistake without help.
As you did this time, still, you looked amused every time I.
I was thinking of Mr. Manalang. And they went on sharing thoughts the whole night. On Sunday mornings, after the Mass, they would go to Del Valle's house to chat and bond with them. Judge Del Valle and Don Julian would play chess as Doña Adela bring them beer and watch them play, while Julia and Alfredo talked in the front porch. As days passed by, Alfredo and Julia spent most of the time together and the attraction between them went deeper. 6 weeks passed. Esperanza patiently waits for Alfredo by the church. I wonder what is taking him so long. He is not usually like this. Maybe he's busy. I'll accompany you home if that's what you want. I'll be fine. I will just wait for him here. Are you sure? Of course. Just go on. Then we'll just leave you here. Take care, Esperanza. I see that you've been really busy lately.
Oh, yeah, and sorry about that. I'm almost done.
Even on Sundays, you seem to forget to wait for me outside the church. Alfredo felt uneasy and remembered that for several Sundays he had been with Julia instead.
Oh, I just had a lot of work to do.
I understand, with your job and all. Days later, at Del Valle's residence.
Up here, I found something.
Amusement?
No, use. It's spirit.
Are you so old?
And heart's desire down there. The road is too broad, too trodden by feet, too barren of mystery.
Mystery, that is so brief.
Not in some, not in you.
You have known me for a few weeks, so the mystery.
I could study you all my life and still not find it.
So long?
I should like to.
Don Julian invites Judge Del Valle, Doña Adela, Carmen, and her 4 children, Julia and Alfredo, to spend the Sunday afternoon before the Holy Week at Tanda. Alfredo left his perch on the bamboo ladder of the house and followed. Here were her footsteps, narrow, arched. He laughed at himself for his black canvas footwear, which he removed forthwith and tossed high up on the dry sand.
I hope you're enjoying this.
Very much. It looks like home to me, except that we do not have a lovely beach. The afternoon has seemed very short, hasn't it? This, I think, is the last time we can visit.
The last? Why?
You'll be too busy, perhaps.
Do I seem especially industrious to you?
You are. You never look like it, not perspiring or breathless as a busy man ought to be.
But
Always unhurried, too unhurried and calm.
I wish that was true. A man is happier if he is, as you say, calm and placid.
Like a caribou in a mud pool.
Who? I?
Oh no,
You said I am calm and placid.
is what I think.
I used to think so too. Shows how little we know ourselves. I'd like to see your hometown.
There is nothing to see. Little crooked streets, not roofs with ferns growing on them, and sometimes squashes.
Nothing? There is you.
Oh, me? But I am here.
I will not go, of course, until you're there.
Will you come? You will find it dull. There isn't even one American there.
Well, Americans are rather essential to my entertainment.
We live in Caluldus, a little street with trees.
Could I find that?
If you don't ask for Miss Del Valle.
I'll inquire about it.
What?
The house of the prettiest girl in town.
There's where you will lose your way. Now, that is not quite sincere.
It is.
Thought you, at least, would not say such things. And they went on chatting. Then Alfredo suddenly asked,
Why did you say this is the last time?
I'm going home.
Why?
Tomorrow. I received a letter from mother and father yesterday. They want me to spend Holy Week at home. That is why I said this is the last time.
Can't I come to say goodbye?
Oh, you don't need to.
No, but I want to.
There is no time. Home seems so far from here. This is almost like another life.
I know this is elsewhere, and yet, strange enough, I cannot get rid of all things.
Old things?
All things, mistakes, encumbrances, old baggage. Goodbye.
On Holy Thursday, Esperanza walks into the church, catches Alfredo's eyes, and pretends not to notice. Then Julia walks in, and Alfredo stares at her with such compassion. A few moments later, crowd was walking past, then Alfredo catches up to Julia. Alfredo looks at his watch.
Good evening. Had been thinking all this time that you had gone.
No, my sister asked me to stay until they're ready to go.
Oh, is the judge going?
Yes. Mr. Salazar, I wish to congratulate you
For what?
for your approaching wedding. I should have offered congratulations long before, but mere visitors are slow about getting the news.
Are weddings interesting to you?
When they're friends, yes.
Would you come if I asked you?
When is it going to be?
May.
May is the month of happiness, they say.
They say. Would you come?
Why not?
No reason. I am just asking. Then you will?
If you will ask me.
Then I ask you. Julia, did you ever have to choose between something you wanted to do and something you had to do?
No.
I thought maybe you had that experience, then you could understand a man who was in such situation. You're fortunate.
Is this man sure of what he should do?
I don't know, Julia. Perhaps not. But there is a point where a thing escapes us and rushes downward of its own weight, dragging us along. Then it is foolish to ask whether one will or will not, because it no longer depends on him.
But then why? Why? Oh, what do I do now? That is his problem after all.
Doesn't it interest you?
Why must I? Have to say goodbye, Mr. Salazar? We are at the house. Esperanza stood near the church while waiting for Alfredo, but leaves impatiently after he did not show up. At Salazar's residence, she waited impatiently again for him. Oh, you are home. Have you heard the news about Calixta?
Distracted, thinks about Julia instead.
Was that the last time we were speaking with each other? Why does this bother me? It shouldn't. I am already engaged to this lovely woman. Well, what about her?
She is not married to him. Besides, she should have thought of us. Mother practically brought her up. We never thought she would turn out bad.
You are very positive about her badness.
But do you approve
Of what?
of what she did?
No.
Well,
All I say is that it is not necessarily wicked.
why shouldn't it be? You talk like an immoral man. I did not know that your ideas were like that.
My ideas. The only test I wish to apply to conduct is the test of fairness. Am I injuring anybody? No. Then I am justified in my conscience. I am right, living with a man to whom she is not married. Is that it? It may be wrong, and again, it may not.
She has injured us. She was ungrateful.
The trouble with you, Esperanza, is that you are.
Why are you mad? I don't understand you at all. I think I know why you have been indifferent to me. Lately, I am not blind nor deaf. I see and I hear what perhaps some are trying to keep from me. Why don't you speak out frankly before it is too late? You need not to think of me and of what people will say.
Yes, one tries to be fair, according to his lights, but it is hard. One would like to be fair to oneself first, but that is too easy. One does not dare.
What do you mean? Whatever my shortcomings, and no doubt there are many in your eyes, I've never gone out of my way, of my place, to find a man.
Esperanza, you suppose I...
If you mean to take back your word, if you are tired of. Why don't you tell me you are tired of me? Esperanza starts turning her head away from him and tears well up. But then again, Alfredo made up his mind and married Esperanza, fulfilling his family's dream. 8 years later, on a boat ride to Julia's hometown, Alfredo reminiscing but tries to forget. Instead of going with the policeman who fetched him to go to Brigida Samuel's house, he stayed in the boat instead. He then thought of searching for Julia Sala's house deep inside. He knew he would find it.
Julia?
Oh, good evening, Mr. Salazar. You're in town.
On some little business.
Won't you come up? He shook Julia's hand and somehow he didn't feel anything anymore.
I may be sailing in two rivers, but my heart was taken away by a magnificent lady that defies the boundaries of what is right and wrong in the battlefield of love. As I walk away, locking my heart with someone else, I walk away with my heart full of sorrow and regrets. I may not have ended up with someone whom I loved, but I will make sure that the person will be in my heart as I live here in this unfair world of war and deaths.